What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 with another Patreon exclusive from Payne, aka Dead Bob at 777. This is the beautiful, stunning, most sought-after car in the world, at least one of. This is the Ferrari F40. I mean, you already knew that by looking at it. It is beautiful. And the model we've gone for today is the Competizione. And I'm sorry, I cannot say it without the accent, and I do apologise to everybody for butchering that one, but I Googled it, and that's what it told me to say, and I did use multiple different responses, multiple different searches. I didn't just pick the first one and go with it. Lots of them sound like that. That's what I decided to go for, so I apologise if I've absolutely butchered it. I am genuinely sorry. This one is available in the auction barn or junkyard. In fact, I don't think that's correct. I think I added the junkyard so I could get it from the bad auction house. I can't really remember. I did purchase this one a little while ago, so I'm not 100% sure on that one. I think the junkyard, if you want it from the bad auction house, you might have to add that one yourself so that you can get it from the bad auction, like we did, although it's not really that bad in all honesty. Condition-wise, it's pretty good, but the bad auction house, you always get lots of dust. Lots of dust and grime on it, and that's how you can pretty much always tell. The good auction house, they do clean them before they let them go, and body panels aren't normally missing. That's all I'm going to say about it, but anyway, it's in pretty good condition for the bad auction house. Did we get a good deal for it, though? That is the biggest question, and I imagine we paid a lot. In fact, I know we paid a lot for this. Just over $250,000 credits is what we paid for our F40, and we could only sell it for 717,322, losing out on 35,078 credits before we begin. We will be drag racing this one, so there is potential to gain back a bit of that, about a third of that, but the rest of it we're going to have to claw back from making this car look absolutely insane, incredible, wonderful, and make sure it's ready for the marketplace to be sold in. But anyway, the engine in this one is the V8 double overhead cam AXK TRS M, which is the mid-engined equivalent of that engine. There's two. There's a front-mounted and a rear/mid-mounted. 720 factory horsepower on this beast. So by the time we finish tuning it, it should be, I mean, it's going to be well over 1,000, maybe up towards 1,500, maybe a little bit more. So it should be pretty epic on the drag strip. That's what we're hoping, at least anyway. Will we be able to get it into the top 10? I don't know. I'm hoping we can. I mean, it's a Ferrari F40. It definitely deserves to be in here. But will it have the legs and the strength to get it into the top 10? We'll have to find out towards the end of this video. So let's get cracking. In fact, I say let's get cracking. Before we get cracking, I need to say a huge congratulations to Mopar Man winning the Dodge competition that we just run, our new style of competition, where that round was Dodge. You could enter any Dodge that you could get in the game. I won't say it's available in game because it was open. You could have created your own if you really wanted to. This one did have parts created. Mopar Man created some parts for his engine there, just bonus parts added on top with the other parts painted invisible using the quality of life mod, but it looks absolutely fantastic. Very, very impressed. Well-deserved win. I do think mine was better, but never mind. That's a private opinion, personal opinion, but it is what it is. Absolutely fantastic build by Mopar Man, though. Do love this competition, or these competitions. They are a lot of fun, and a new one has already begun. We're going to take a step back because this one is a law car version, so you can enter any bolt. Yes, any of the bolts that are available in game. I've put the little image on screen there. It doesn't include any car, but that's the image we've used for it. I'm going to take that one away, and we're going to jump in and take a quick look. I didn't mean to go to the body tuning shop, so I wanted to go to the standard body shop because this is the easiest way to see all the bolts. Obviously, I've got a bolt out front, my bolt cargo, so there is one. That was actually a competition entry from me for the very, very first competition, and it is stuck outside ever since. So congratulations, bolt cargo, even though I didn't win it. Pi Newton actually won it, the other competition coordinator, but there we go. So that was our first ever competition. We're back to bolts, but now it's any bolt. So you could enter a bolt cargo if you wanted to. You could also enter the Atlanta, the Cape Mark 7, the Chapman, the Hornet, the Mosquito Mark 5, Mosquito Mark 6, Reptilia, Reptilia R2, Reptilia R6, Bolt Roulette, or the Supernova. Literally any of these, any variation of these is available for you to enter. So make sure to head over to the official Red Dot Games Discord server, linked in the description below and on screen. Go over there, check it out, take part, enter your own bolt. Make sure to read all of the rules because there are some specific entry requirements for it. basically. And that's just to keep it so that everyone's on the same playing field. But anyway, crack on, get involved with that one. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we will be doing our own bolt. And what bolt do you think we should do? Let me know in the comments below for this video. And that may be, if it gets enough likes, comments, whatever, the bolt we go for. So if you've got an idea for a bolt you want me to do a custom version of, do let me know in the comments below, and that will be our competition entry, as long as it's the one with the most likes. And if no one suggests anything, I'll just pick one at random, see what I like. But anyway, let's get back to the beautiful Ferrari F40. And no, I'm not going to try and pronounce the model again, because I'll probably just ruin it, because it's now not in my head, because I've done a lot of talking since then and now. But anyway, yes, this is the beautiful Ferrari F40. I'm definitely very much looking forward to it. We've got plenty of parts to play around with in this one, although we are going to keep it in this style and fitting, so we will be using pretty much all of the parts that come in the Competizione version. Don't like saying that, but we'll check them out a little bit more once we're into the body section, which we're not there yet. So first off, we need to get this beautiful F40 all clean. So let's get it into the car wash. Let's get it all cleaned up in the car wash then with our beautiful F40. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be red underneath all of that dust and grime, so let's just get it cleaned. We definitely won't be sticking with a red. French Toast has challenged me to not go with any Ferrari colours, which means we won't be using a red, a white, a black, or a yellow. Won't be using any of them. So we've got our task cut out for us today. But I am thinking, and it was suggested by French Toast as well, that we use that beautiful blue that we had on the 2015 Dodge Charger a couple of videos ago that I didn't use and ended up using a white and black, well, white and carbon fibre, should I say, that was a little bit boring. So maybe today we'll go for a very, very vibrant blue, although the one on the Dodge was meant to be a metallic, and I'm not a big fan of metallic finishes in bright colours. They just go a bit too dark for me, so probably won't be metallic, but we'll see a bit later on. Let's get the interior done for this beautiful F40, get it back on the lifter, get that engine ripped out of there, and start stripping everything down. The beautiful F40's on the lifter. Is there an oil pan? There's no oil pans. We don't need to worry about draining any oil. In fact, I think there might be a lot missing from this engine, so let's jump in and take a look. There is a lot missing from this engine. Oh my, we have literally nothing. The crankshaft, the block, the gearbox, and I'm assuming all the gearbox gubbings in there and stuff like that. But to get this engine out, what's left of this engine anyway, we need to take the gearbox out, which also means we need to remove the wheels and tyres. So I'm going to try and zoom out a bit more. That's what I wanted. There we go. I'm going to get all this removed, and I'll be back in just a second. That's the wheels and drive shafts out, so now we can crack on with this gearbox. I wanted to zoom in a bit more, but I forgot I was already clicked on the gearbox. No starter in there, so I'm going to have to pick one of them up, and I probably should have done that before I took the gearbox out, just to make sure we get the correct one, because there's a couple of different models. But anyway, that should be it for the engine, what's left of it anyway. So let's get our F40 back down on the ground, go and grab the engine crane, and try and lift this engine out in one go. I think, does this clamshell open? I really hope it does. It does. That's fantastic. We do also have an engine cover. The exhaust and everything's in the engine cover, so we will be keeping all of that. But I'm going to pull that one out now, just so we can have a look at how far back that engine sits. That is definitely a mid-engined car there. So there we go. Let's pull you out. Nice and easy. That is what we like. Get that crane put away, and let's jump into the engine bay and see what should be going on in here, because I do think a lot of it is missing. In fact, everything apart from all the suspension, ironically enough, is missing. So let's see what we've got in here. We've got air filters and intercoolers up here, which I think sit inside the little tub so that we're in that engine cover. We've also got a coolant reservoir up here as well. 2 fuel tanks, one either side, which means 2 fuel pumps as well. We've also got an ECU Type B just down here as well. What else have we got? That looks like it for the rear. Up to the front, we got the fuse box inside the dashboard by the looks of that. Wishy-washy reservoir, brake servo, battery sits down here. We are also missing the battery, although we do have the tray sat on the frame a little bit, but it is what it is. So the battery is going to clip through the sway bar. Interesting. Then we've got 2 radiator arrays on the front there, which might need fan housing kits and fans. We'll have to see that a little bit later on. As for the suspension, well, all 4 wheels were on, which gives me a good sign, Rusty Bolt, that we've got everything we need for the suspension. And just a quick glance around here, looks like most of it's there. In and out of tie rods, sway bars, things like that. Down to the back, do we have all of this? Not as much here, no sway bars or anything. We've obviously got rid of the drive axle. Should mean that there is the hub bearing in there as well. all of the bushings, all of the arms, and all of the springs. So all the suspension is there, which does make our job a little bit easier. Now, we need to get on, though, get the rest of this all stripped out. Obviously, there's nothing else for the engine bay, so that's nice and simple. We're going to close that clamshell, lift it up in the air. We're going to strip all of the suspension down. Then I'm going to get everything repaired, replaced, or upgraded, and then come back and sort this bodywork out. And by the looks of it, we may be able to repair most of this bodywork, which is pretty awesome, because I will be using most of the stuff that's on there anyway. So I'm quite pleased with that. Anyway, I'm going to crack on, get the rest of this stripped off. I'll join you back in just a minute when we'll be sorting out all of the bodywork for this beautiful Ferrari F40. That's pretty much a whole new engine built for this beautiful F40. Luckily, we did manage to repair most of the suspension, but from the engine, we only got the block and the crankshaft. Everything else is brand new on that engine, but now we need to sort out all of this bodywork. So let's just start going. That's the suspension. I didn't want that. I wanted the front clamshell, which brings out the whole lot of that front end. Also, car part 1 under there as well. Nice to know that's there. Look at the detailing in there. The carbon fibre looks fantastic, although because of the body, I can't walk through here, which makes sense, I guess, because the game still registers it being there, even though it's not there at the moment. That's fine. Out with that windshield with the emergency shut-off on it. That looks pretty cool. What else have we got? Your part of the, or your car part 2, so you can come out of there nice and neat. Oh, that was the gear shifter and everything like that. Suspension interior, I don't want that. No fender. We will take that body window though. Then we got a rear clamshell. This should pull out a lot as well. Yes, it does. That engine cover, I did put it back on just to make sure I didn't accidentally scrap it off earlier. Rear right fender, out you come, and then obviously the door on this side, side skirts, anything like that around here. Doesn't look like it. Rear window, out you come. That looks like it's all part of the suspension and engine, and then we've just got some seats. I am quite liking these seats, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to get the colours I want on them. So for the time being, we will stick with them. Maybe not in the red. Maybe we'll go to a normal. No, actually, I'll stick with the red, just so I know it's definitely two-tone. But I'm not sure what we can do with them. So we'll find out a little bit later on. I forgot to take that steering wheel out as well. But we will also probably be... No, we'll put the VM steering wheel in because we have one. So why not use it on every build as long as it fits? We will check to see if it fits before we decide if we're using it, though. Let's get on. Have we got everything? 2% on the body, so we're definitely missing something. Rear body window A. That's an obvious one. Can't believe I missed it. There we go. Out you come. That is now, or should be, everything out. Yes, it is. Back onto here at 1%, and we can change the frame if we want to, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with this model that I'm not going to pronounce again. But anyway, that's all of that sorted. The frame is at 75%, which is pretty good, and we bought it for just over $750,000. So what do we think? I mean, it's going to be a lot. I don't even want to hazard a guess. I'm going to go 12,500. 4,878. Way off, but it does mean it should still sell for quite a bit regardless. Bearing in mind the frame is at 75%, so realistically, not that much welding. But anyway, let's jump in to the body shop. As I said, I am going to be keeping this in the Competizione. I did say it one more time. I'm sorry, I don't like it. But anyway, the Ferrari F40 from the year before I was born. Fantastic. But anyway, what have we got in here? Only 7 pages, so that's good for me. Not too many parts. Happy with that. We'll have a quick scroll through, and then we're probably going to just go through and check out all the stuff that we're going to be using, which is going to be this one here. There we go. There's our windscreen with the emergency cut-off and stuff like that. That makes sense. Although we could go for the 777 with the hood scoop. I don't know if it's going to fit, though. We'll stick with this one for the time being. Then for our wing, or trunk window as it's called, this is the one we want. Do we like the look of that? We're going to stick with that one. I think we are going to stick with that one. It fits the body style kit and everything like that, so I think we will stick with that one. What we will check out, though, is any options, like the mirrors here. You've got a couple of options on there. We've just got the one tail light option and a Liberty Walk one, but we're not going for the Liberty Walk wide body, so we can't use that one today. We do need to figure out what clamshell we're using for the front, for which lights we're going to be using. I don't want side markers, though. So anyone that says side marker on it is definitely not being used, because I don't really like them, including that one there. Body window, rear window, they just are what they are. We've got 2 fenders to choose from. So we'll put both of them on one side and see what the difference is, what it looks like, so on and so forth. Again, for the same there. Then we've got this one here for our rear clamshell. Look at the spoiler on the GTE. That looks mad, but we won't be going for that one. We're sticking with this one here. Rear bumper, we've just got the one option for the Competizione. I said it again. I said I wasn't going to. One tail light. We know we've got 2 mirrors to play around with. Got to figure out which headlights go on there. Do we have anything else that says it goes with this specific? Is it just the headlights? It looks like it's just the headlights. So for the front clamshell, we are going for C or D. We've got two options. One looks like it's just got some vents cut into it. The other doesn't. So what headlights can we use with C or D? This one, this one, this one, and this one. Don't want the side markers, so we'll see what the difference is between H and F while we're in there as well. We've got two doors to go with, and obviously normal windows plus Lexan windows. I think we probably need to go for the Lexan windows because I don't imagine this door's going to have much on it. Probably going to be pretty bare, but we'll see a bit later on. Same with that, we've already done that one. Then our front end, we got one with the tow hook and one without the tow hook in the front bumper. Probably go with the one with the tow hook. Just looks a little bit more racy, in my opinion. Then we got engine covers. We've got two to look at. And for me, that's just going to be whichever one paints closer to the one I want, is what I'm going to use, basically. We are going to stick with that one for the clamshell or car part 3E. Then we got the Competizione version of that and the Competizione version of that. I said it wrong both times there, and I do apologise. But there we go. That's the body shop all checked out. Let's get our welder put away. Now I'm going to go repair anything I can repair, and then we'll come back in and we'll see what parts can be swapped out, what parts we got options for, and what the differences are between them. Is that speakers on the front? That looks... I know that... Oh, it's vents. I thought that was speakers. I thought, what an epic design, putting speakers on the front there, but it's not. It's vents. Anyway, I'm going to go get everything repaired. When we come back, we'll put this beautiful body back together, check out a couple of the options, and then get this beast into the paint shop to put on that lovely vibrant blue. That's all the bodywork sorted, so let's get it all back on and check out a few of the differences as we go. I'm just going to start with car part 1, where there is only one part with the word on it. So there we go. That's the one we're going for there. Lovely bit of carbon fibre and a lovely bit of red on there at the moment, which won't be staying. There is two front clamshell options. I repaired one and bought the other, and I'm using the other. It costs a lot of money. I kind of regret my decision, but there we go. Front clamshell C is this for this particular build, but has closed fenders on it. Take U off and pick the one we are going to use on, which is the D, which has these cutout fenders on it, looking very, very nice on there. Now, for the headlights, onward we go. We've got two options for these. We've got the H and the F. There's very minimal difference between the two. If you can just about see it on your screen now, the F has got little pins dropping in it, holding it in place, whereas the H is smooth. So I'm going to put the F on this side, and then we'll put the H on this side, because that's the one we're going for. You can just see on there, you've got little pins just holding it in place. They look pretty cool, but I like a bit more of a cleaner finish. So that's what we're going for. I'm going to get to them sold a bit later on. Hopefully it won't cost us too much money. On you go there. The front bumper, I did only get the one of these, and I actually just repaired the one we've got, because the difference is they're exactly the same apart from this little tow hook on here. One of them doesn't have it, one of them does. That's the only difference for that piece. So there we go. We didn't bother with all of that. The doors, as I said, I didn't think we were going to go for normal windows because they don't have any interior stuff on the doors. I didn't buy the other ones. You feel free to check them out yourselves if you want to sign up to Payne's Patreon and get access to this beautiful F40. But anyway, car part 2, there is only one for this one, so I've gone with that one, put it back. It's got all the details in here, manual gear shifter, gated and all of that, looking fantastic. Let's just get the door on the other side now that we've got the interior piece on. Windshield is just the windshield. Right, there's multiple options, but ours has got the cut off and shut off and all stuff on there, looking good. I did stick with the original Lexan windows, which are the closed ones rather than the open ones. I just think they look a little bit better in my opinion. Body windows are just the body windows. Let's go around to the other side, and then we'll talk about the mirrors. I wonder if I've still got one of them on me. Let's have a look. There are two mirrors. I have still got one. This one here is the one it wants to use. I'm going to put you on, and I'm going to put the one we are going to use on the other side, which I obviously already had, but is the B. And it's just because I'm going to go into photo mode to show you. It's a little bit weird. I'm not going to lie. This one's got a plastic cover that runs between it, which is pretty cool. Better, maybe not better airflow, but something like that. But it goes both sides, front and back. But inside it is an air vent. And for me, I don't quite understand how that's an air vent because, well, it's all closed off. How's any air getting in or out? All you're doing is pumping some inside air into this little pocket here. So I'm not going for that one. As you can see, if we go to the other side, it doesn't have the air vent. It just has the bit of Lexan or plastic glass, plexiglass, something like that on there with the normal mirror. And I think that just looks a little bit better mostly because I don't understand how that vent works. So we're going to take it out and we're going to put the correct mirror back on. And we will sell them other 2 mirrors a little bit later on to try and claw back some of the money. Now, for these fenders, this is going to be weird because I'm using different fenders for each side. And I'll show you why. If we go on, I'm going to put on, I think it's the C. Yeah, the C is the one we're not using. On this side, the only difference I can tell is these 2 little pieces down here. It's got a fuel cap. It's got a vent in there, the Pininfarina badge on there, another vent down there, and obviously the vent and grill up there. Looking very nice. If I take it off and put the other one on, it honestly took me ages to see the difference between these two, which is the B. The only difference, I don't know why it's gone black. I never painted it. It should be this colour. But anyway, we'll crack on. It's exactly the same. Fuel door at the top. You've got the vent in there, the vent in there, the vent in there, the Pininfarina badge, the 2 vents at the front, but it doesn't have them little metal pinny bits there. But anyway, so that's the one I'm going for. We'll go around to the other side. I'm going to pick the C on because that's the first one we went for on the other side. As you can see, it doesn't have the little pinny bits in there, which I find really weird. This one has 1 fuel cap and 1 closed cap. And the other one, if I just put you back on, or not back on, but on, you have 2 fuel caps with exactly the same vents and everything like that. It is all identical. But yeah, so for one side, we're going to go for the B, and the other side, this side here, we're going to go for the C. So they are mismatched fenders, as it were, but I think they give us the best look. I'm not sure if I've made a mistake. We'll find out a little bit later on when we get it all together. Rear window in, looking very good in there, just the one option. Then the engine cover, there's 2 options for these. You've got the E and the F, and you can see visibly on screen the difference between the 2 of them. The F has got black exhaust pipes and black exhaust tips on there. And then if we take U off and hit the other one back on, which I'm going to stick with for the time being, although I am going to keep both. I don't know why that's gone painted black. I don't know what's happening there. But this one's got chrome pipes and chrome tips on there, or metallic pipes and chrome tips, I should say, because they're not really chrome, are they? But I'm going to try and paint that somehow a little bit later on, so I might swap and change between the 2, see which one paints better, gives me a better finish that I'm after. Anyway, onto the rear clamshell. There is only the one for this build, so we're going to go with that one. And the window and spoiler, again, this one's for the Liberty Walk or this model, so we're going for that one on there. It does look very good with the little carbon fibre accents as well. On to car part 3, just the one for the Competizione. Still probably saying it wrong, but whatever. On we go with a rear license plate on there, and the tail lights are just the tail lights. Although we did manage to repair this side, just not this side. We had to buy a new one because we didn't have one. Onto our rear bumper, then again, only the one for this model, and it does look very nice with the carbon fibre bits in there, although I'm not a big fan of the chrome wrapping around the chrome, so we're going to hopefully do something with that later on. I think that's everything for the body. I'm not 100%. We will check it. Let's have a look. Is that everything for the body? That's not the screen. It is. That's everything for the body, and the frame's now up to 100%, so let's crack on and get some interior in. I did say I was going to keep these GW500 seats, which I am, but I've gone for the blue ones because, well, obviously we talked about earlier painting the car blue. So I'm going to change that blue because that's not the blue I'm thinking for the body. It's definitely a different one. And for the steering wheel, I'm sticking with my steering wheel. We've gone for the B1 this time, and I did have to go into the car editor to make it fit. So if we just zoom in a little bit, all I really did was push it back a little bit more and bring it down, just so that that metal plate sat flush-ish with the... I don't know what this bit's called. It's just gone out of my mind. I had it earlier, but there we go. Onto the stem. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. So I did have to edit it just ever so slightly. But there we go. Is that everything? 100%, 100%, 100%. It definitely is. Let's get this beautiful Ferrari F40 into the paint shop. Check out some factory colours. And then see which kind of blue we're going to put on this beautiful Ferrari. In the paint booth then with the beautiful Ferrari F40. I absolutely love this car. Dream about this car. Idolised this car for many, many years. But let's crack on and see what factory colours. Just that gloss red. Okay, never mind. No factory colours for this one. Are there any liveries? There are no liveries. So let's have a look at the blue. This is the blue that was officially on the Dodge, that came with the Dodge. If I can just get it right. 190, 100... 85 is what it finished with, and it was in metallic. But again, I'm just not a big fan of metallic finishes. It just makes it darker. Like if I go into the pearl, sorry, look how much brighter that blue is, more vibrant. I mean, I personally prefer it in the matte. I think it looks absolutely beautiful in the matte. But I use matte paints a lot. It does look so good. I do use matte paint a lot, though, so I don't think I'm going to go for that one. None of that, none of that. So for me, it's either going to be gloss. It's a nice gloss blue, so maybe, or the pearl blue. What would you guys pick? Let me know in the comments below. I think I'm going to stick with this pearl. Just a little bit more shine to it. Somewhere between the gloss and the metallic, but still keeping that very bright blue. So I'm going to go for a pearl on there. We are going to do our bolts, but I'm not going to do the rims. And I want to do them... I've forgotten how to get white every time. Saturation down, I think. Let's just test it on this one. Yeah, saturation down. There we go. Saturation down, brightness up. That should give us white bolts on there. Obviously, we're going to try and get this blue, or a version of this blue, probably a bit matte, onto the seats. Maybe with a bit of white, because we've done the bolts white. I've only done white because I think white rims on this will look fantastic. The rest of it's probably going to be carbon fiber, chrome, and this blue. It's only going to be a few little white splashes. I'm not going to go too over the top with it this time. Mostly just the rims, and just so we can have a totally alt colour on the bolts. And if I can get that exhaust to go white, I definitely will. But we'll see how that works out a little bit later on. So let's get this beautiful car painted. On you go. I'm pretty confident there's nothing where we can see the bolts right now without fully assembling something. I didn't see an ABS pump or module in there. Not that I remember anyway. There might have been. So, bodywork already looks fantastic. The only thing I'm going to try and change the colours on is this engine cover. So we'll take you out, we'll close you back down. And then, obviously, as always, we're going to try and make these seats look a little bit better with a closer blue. And that's already got a bit of blue on it. But I kind of want a little bit more, not just the logo. So let's see what we can come up with. There we go. That's the blue we're going for. Beautiful pearl finish. Absolutely fantastic. It is the blue from the Dodge Charger, just not in a metallic finish, in a pearl finish. And in my opinion, it looks so much better. So I'm going to crack on, start getting everything else painted, and then we can get this beautiful Ferrari back together, and you can see all the changes I've made in just a second. That's everything painted on the beautiful Ferrari F40 in this stunning blue. And if there's anything I am confident about, it is that Ferrari would not like this one at all. I'm pretty confident they don't sue people through video games, but I'm very definitely glad about that. If I was building this in real life, they might be just a little bit unhappy. I know they don't like it when you don't use official Ferrari colours, but it is a game. So let's crack on. It looks fantastic. Obviously, a few bits have changed since you last saw it. If we just jump in here, we've got obviously lots of blue and white on that. Those beautiful seats in there, they look fantastic in that colour. I know we said we weren't going to go too wild with the white, but I may have gone a little bit wild with the white. But anyway, let's crack on. Did get a bit of blue and white on the steering wheel. Again, I think it looks fantastic. And we also got a bit on car part 2, this roll cage and setup in here. So a few things in here have changed colour. That's still the same colour. The gear shift is still the same colour. A little bit of chrome in there. But we got some white dotted on this, and I didn't realise you could see the cross member from inside the cab, but never mind, that is what it is. Not really much else has changed. The engine cover has changed, but we're not going to show you that one until we've done the engine, and you can see everything else with it, because it really does look pretty good, in my opinion. But let's jump in and see what we've got going on. We'll start with the fuse box just up here. This is in, if I could get it, carbon fibre weave on there. Looking absolutely fantastic. Same as the wishy-washy reservoir. And then down here, the battery tray is... Oh, that's the bracket is in a carbon fibre as well. We've got brushed aluminium on the support rods and blue on that tray. And yes, it does clip with the sway bar, but we're ignoring that. It's just one of those things. We have got a shiny blue on the radiators on the front there. And then a carbon fibre on the shroud. And then obviously that beautiful blue on the fans just there. Looking very good. If we jump into the suspension... The cross member, the arms are all in brushed aluminium along with the knuckle there, and it all looks pretty good. White and blue on the shocks, blue on all the bushings, and obviously white bolts everywhere, and then a blue brake caliper just to finish all of that off. Looking very good, in my opinion. Jump down, we've also got carbon fibre fuel tanks in there with the blue fuel pumps, one for either side, because this needs a lot of fuel, because it drinks a lot of fuel. Stage 3 ECU Type B, the words I was looking for, just up there. Obviously, no cover or casing for that one. The only ones we've got covers for are the Type A ECUs. Coolant reservoir, you're also in a carbon fibre weave, looking good. And we've got the intercoolers and just in a cheeky little white, and just the air filters and nothing on them. But they will be covered by that engine cover a little bit later on. I don't use them very often, but this one looks pretty epic. Plus, it's got all the exhaust in as well, so we kind of had to use it. Rear suspension is the same Obviously, that brushed aluminium on there with the knuckle and on the arms. Obviously, blue bushings everywhere. Shock in the white and blue. And then the brake caliper in the blue with the hub in a blue as well. And then obviously we'll have a bit of white going in the center. Very similar to what we do at the front there. Just a little bit different at the back. But that's all the suspension and everything we've changed on the car. We might as well leave that one open. We're going to put the engine in a minute. So let's go and build that beautiful engine ready to go in here. The twin turbo V8 AXK. On the we go. We've got the block in a brushed aluminium and a bit of that blue just for good measure. The heads are in brushed aluminium and that blue in the center, although it is aluminium all the way around the outside, so it doesn't make any difference. And the oil pan is just in that blue just to make it look a little bit different. We've also got TKAftermarket cam gears. These are the i4 ones that fit on this engine. So if you want to use them yourself when you have TKAftermarket, those are the ones you need to buy. They fit on it perfectly. The rest of them don't, so if you just buy and test fit, you'll find ones that fit anyway. But on we go. We've got 2 camshafts in here as well, along with 4 spark plugs either side. So that's 4 camshafts in total and 8 spark plugs altogether. Then you've got obviously 2 V8 timing belts on the front there, bringing all of that together. Looking very nice, but let's crack on. We're going to start with the oil filter just down here, which is in a fixed white. That is in pearl, looking very nice. We go up to our fuel filter up here. Did that one in blue, just to sort of separate them just a little bit more. Timing cover on the front here is in, it said it was blue, but it's in brushed aluminium and blue. I was trying to get just a splash of two-tone on it. This isn't. This is something clips through from underneath that I have never, ever noticed before. So I didn't realise that, but there we go. Crankshaft pulley on you go. You are in a blue. The water pump is also in brushed aluminium on there. It's going to look good because obviously all the bolts are going to go white once it's in the car, and that should really make it pop. Although I'm not sure how it will work against the brushed aluminium. We'll check it in a minute. Blue water pump pulley on there. And then obviously all of our idle rollers are all in a cheeky little blue. So let's just get on and get all of these in. And then we can move on to the alternator and power steering pump, which are just on either side of the engine in just a second. So we'll get this last idle roller on. There you go. Power steering pump. This is the only one I'm not overly happy with, but it looks good nonetheless. This is finished in a solid white. And no false colours from Quality of Life, so that we could keep this front roller as dark as we could separated from it. Basically is what I was going for on there. It doesn't always work. We swing round to the other side. The alternator, I kept that one in the brushed aluminium. The only thing I would have liked to have changed is this little roller at the front. If we could have kept that one in the black, it would have been fantastic. Well, it looked fantastic, at least anyway. On with the blacked out serpentine belt this side, and another blacked out serpentine belt that side, along with another cheeky little idle roller in there. And we've also got a belt tensioner, which is in the blue, but it's not forced. So you still keep that darker roller. You can see that's still got a bit of blue on it. This one survives because it's trying to overthrow it with white. And white doesn't go over black, whereas blue will, just not look as quite as good. But there we go. That's what we've done for the front. All looking very nice on there. Now we need to jump onto these beautiful engine head covers, which are in that lovely looking blue. I do think it looks fantastic, and I cannot wait to get this in the car. Hopefully it is going to look beautiful when we drop it in. We do have a little secret in this engine, and that is I did splash a tiny little bit of Ferrari yellow in there just to keep it hidden underneath the coil covers, which is in brushed aluminium. There we go. Just for a little bit, just so we can say we kept a bit of Ferrari yellow in our beautiful Ferrari. That way, hopefully, Ferrari won't sue us. We're good with that. Hopefully that'll work. On with the other side, all the same. Absolutely fantastic. I really do love this blue. Thank you for suggesting it as a colour for a Ferrari French toast. And it is really made my day. Honestly, this has cheered me up to no end building this because Ferrari wouldn't be happy with it, and that makes me smile. So there we go. On with that side, all up to the same place, all looking good. We get our intake manifold on. This is just in the brushed aluminium, completely in there, but it does look pretty good. And you'll see why once we get that engine cover on in a minute. 2 fuel rails, one on either side, both in that blue, with a little bit of brushed aluminium in there as well. Keep it all blended in just for good measure. And then the last piece is our exhaust, which is in that brushed aluminium. We've gone wild with the brushed aluminium. For the interior and the underside, I went a bit wild with the white. But for the engine itself, I've definitely gone wild with this brushed aluminium. It looks fantastic on here. We obviously do have our little turbos to go on as well. And they are in blue and brushed aluminium, just to give it something a little bit different. Make it pop just that little bit more inside the engine bay. On you go. One more piece left to go. And that is this V8 throttle just up here, which is in blue and brushed aluminium. Obviously, all of the bolts are going to be white on this when we drop it in the car. I'm hoping they'll really pop, but I'm not sure how it will work against the brushed aluminium. but it is all looking fantastic. I love that engine in there. It looks beautiful. But now it is time. Let's get it off the stand. Oh, if I could get it. And let's get it dropped into our beautiful Ferrari F40. Let's get this engine dropped in then. Hopefully it's going to look fantastic. And we've also got that engine cover to pit on as well. That really should finish this one off. There's no exhaust to put in because that is all included with the engine cover. But before we do any of that, let's get the gearbox and drive axles in, along with that cheeky little starter as well, just so we can get this one all finished off. We should hopefully just have some wheels to go in a moment. As we jump up here, crack on with that gearbox, which is in brushed aluminium. I know it said blue. I was trying to get a few bits of blue. The only bit that would go blue is this, but it was a completely different blue to the rest of that. So we didn't go for it in the end. I just kept it in a fixed brushed aluminium. On you go. Then we've got the cheeky little starter just up here in blue. Again, not forced, just using the normal paint methods. I think it might be forced a little bit. I'm unsure if you can paint this in the normal mode or not. But basic blue, and then obviously it keeps this bit dark. Still got a little bit of a blue tinge on it, but still looks pretty good. These rear drive axles on here, on you go for one side. These are in forced white, kind of the similar to what the power steering pump is in there. So you still keep these black. I always forget the words for them, but you know what bits I'm on about. I'm pointing at them with the mouse. I can never remember what they're called. It always eludes me, but there we go. On you go for the other side, painted exactly the same, and it is all looking fantastic. And we go onto this engine. The white bolts aren't really popping that much, not as much. Oh, they are at the front. That's a lot better. They are popping just a little bit more along with the idle rollers and stuff like that. It does look a lot better. Not so much on the engine heads, but I suppose because we got a bit of glare off the coil covers, that's probably explaining it. But it still looks fantastic nonetheless. Very pleased with that engine. Let's get you back down. Let's get that engine cover on and see the final piece of the Ferrari F40 puzzle as we go. I love this engine cover. Now, I did stick with the one that you already seen. There was one with black pipes and one with silver pipes. I stuck with the one with silver pipes, as you can see on there. But we did add blue and brushed aluminium on there to keep on with the rest of that build. Most of the exhaust is in a brushed aluminium. It has obviously overtaken my turbos a little bit. As you can see, it's got like it's built-in turbos in there. Mine are just hidden back here a little bit, but it is what it is. I love these like intercoolers on the top there, where our intercoolers and air filters actually are, feeding into the turbos and then out to the exhaust, with some cheeky little blue tips just on the end of that exhaust. The only bit that's chrome is just the shroud, whatever you want to call that, going around the outside of the exhaust there is in a bit of chrome. But it is all looking fantastic. I think I've done a fantastic job. What do you think, though? Because your opinion does matter to me. So do let me know in the comments below. I was going to tint the windows, but I thought I don't want to tint this back window. Plus, these side windows are Lexan, so maybe I just tint these rear quarters and the windscreen ever so slightly. But then we might as well see what it does with the Lexan on the window tinting. But the thing is, I want to keep this clear so that we can see inside the engine bay. But I also did want to do something with these lights. They're just a little bit too much, in my opinion. The front lights are fine as they are, but the tail lights, definitely not so much. So let's try and do some tinting. I'm going to keep you guys with me so we can have the full experience and see what it does with these Lexan windows as we jump in. So I'm going to come straight off of all because I never like doing that. For the windshield, 55. 55 doesn't look too bad. Can we see out the front? Just about. We are drag racing this, so we will need to be able to see. So I might just try and sneak that in with a 55 for the moment. Trunk window. Now, I want to be able to see all of this, and if I tint it, that's definitely not going to work. If we do the same tint that's on the front, it's a bit darker, and you can still see through it, so I'm happy with that. We'll go for that one. And then we might as well just stick with the 55 all the way around because there's no point having it all mismatched. So we'll go with that all the way around. Oh, that's the rear window inside the cab, isn't it? We'll go for that one as well. Why not? God, there's extra windows on this that I wasn't prepared for. So let's keep going. On you go, on you go. That's all the windows. Then the tail lights. Now, I'm unsure what to do with these. I just don't like them with the red and amber. It's just a bit, yeah, a bit too much. Can we put some white on it? Will that work? Is that... If I go all the way up, I mean, all the way up, I think, oh, no. Do you know what? I've changed my mind. That does actually look pretty fantastic. Maybe not all the way up, though. Maybe we go for like a 75. So you can still see the light. And then if we turn them on, they would change the colour. It's only the caps. Plus, this is a race car anyway. It's not built for the road. I think It does kind of go with the theme, though, doesn't it? The blue and white. Yeah, I'm going for it. I've never done white tinting before, but I've made my decision. We're doing it. We're going for white tail lights on our Ferrari F40. Weird as anything you can think of, but there we go. Side mirror? Do I? Oh, is that so I can tint this bit? It is. So we're going to go with 55. So it's the same as the rest of the windows on there. On you go and on you go. Car part 2 is I painted all of that, so I'm not going to try and tint anything and ruin that even more. And that's it. So you can't do anything with the headlights on the Ferrari F40 anyway. But there we go. Let's come out of that. And by the way, that is only accessible through the quality of life mod. Obviously, in-game, you can do the windows. I think that's it. The actual version. The version I'm using with the quality of life mod does override that and let me to do basically windows and lights, but it doesn't work on all of them. So there we go. Let's take a seat inside and make sure it's not too dark. That is actually maybe a little bit too dark. I'm sure we'll be fine on the racetrack, on the drag strip racetrack. There's no way I'm racing this. Oh, though, should we race this? No, I said I was drag stripping it. We're definitely drag racing this bad boy. I'm so pleased with how this turned out. I think it looks fantastic. But now I need to crack on, get some wheels sorted for this beautiful beast, get all the liquids topped up. Can I even see any of them from here? Oh, yeah, there's the wishy-washy reservoir blending in. Always happy when that happens. If I can't find it straight away, I've done a good job hiding it. There we go. So I got some liquids to top up. Then we'll jump back and sort out the wheels for this beautiful Ferrari F40. Get it all finished. Get it dynoed. And then onto the drag strip. The rim I've gone for today is the 218 for our beautiful Ferrari F40. And that's not far off what I'm aiming for it to look like. But you'll be surprised. I'm going to select blue as my starting colour. But then we're going to go across here and we're going to go across to the Quality of Life Forced White because it is a nice looking colour. And I do think that this matches quite well with the pearl finish. So that's what we're going to go with on this one. Let's just zoom out a little bit. Now, I really don't want much blue on this, so I kind of already know what I'm doing. I'm just going to scroll through the options. That is nice, though. I'm not going to lie. Just not quite fitting for this build. And then you've obviously got the reverse one on there. But if you go on to Paint and Mix, which is one of my favourite mixture options on this one. It looks like it's all white, which is pretty cool and kind of what we're after. But I will let you into a little secret. If you use this exact rim, the Quality of Life mod, and the colour options I have set out here with that blue, the bolts will go whatever colour you've got as your first colour. And mine is obviously that blue. So let's get these painted, attached to some rims, and then bolted to the car. Just balancing this last rim now. Let's get it all together. And then we can get this side of the car all finished off and ready to go drag racing, or at least ready to go outside in the sun. Onto this rear wheel then. If I just go onto here, the rears, there we go, is a 19-inch rim with a 335 width and a 30 profile on there. Looking fantastic. And now you can see it. The rim is white. The bolts are blue. And I just think it just gives that just a little bit of pop of that blue, especially with the brake caliper in there as well. Looking very nice in my opinion. Onto the fronts, slightly different size, still a 19-inch, but the fronts are a 245 width with a 30 profile and ET of 5 specifically for this rim, because if you don't, the brake caliper does just clip with that rim just a little bit. If I just zoom in a bit more, you can see that there's no clipping on there. So it is actually working pretty well. So let's get on and get these all in. And that is this beautiful Ferrari F40 all finished. Let's put you down on the ground. And there we go. She is all done. The blue bolts on the white rims are looking fantastic. We just opened this up one last time. It is looking beautiful in there. And obviously our white tail lights, which I'm sure everyone in the comments is thinking that is absolutely horrid. But I think it looks beautiful. Very pleased with how it turned out. There we go. Liquids are all topped up. This car is done. Let's get it outside in the sun. Just the one thing left to go on our beautiful Ferrari F40 then. She really is fantastic. So let's just crack on down the back, off with our blank license plate that wasn't there earlier because I accidentally took it off, but never mind. And put on our show plate, which is Don't Sue, for obvious reasons. And I'm just going to leave it at that. We won't say any more about it. There we go. That's the plate we're going for our blue Ferrari F40. Looking fantastic. For some reason, whatever car I have loaded in, the game does not like me stood in this spot right here. I have no idea why, but I've dropped from 60 FPS to 44 FPS just from being stood here. If I take a step to the side, 47, 55, back up to 60. Don't know why. It just does not like me standing just there. Everywhere else is absolutely fine. Anyway, if you haven't given this beautiful Dodge Charger a score out of 10 yet, please do so in the comments for today's video so we can get this beautiful car added to the show car board. There we go. Words are in there somewhere. Potentially into the top 5, which means it will sit out here. Top 10 means it will sit on the show car board. And if it's not in the top 10, that means, well, it just goes in parking and gets hidden forevermore. But if it does come in the top 3, I will do another Signature Series cup and t-shirt like we've got for the beautiful camper. If you haven't picked up yours yet, do so now. You've got just a little bit over a month to grab one because there's the 31st of July. If they're not sold, that's it. They're going 31st of July. They're on the shop at the moment. Virtualmechanic-fourthwall.shop. I think I've done that wrong, but anyway, virtualmechanic-shop.fourthwall.com is the actual website. There we go. So head over there, grab your Signature Series cup and mug if you want to. Cup and mug? Mug and t-shirt is the words I was looking for. And if we get that beautiful Dodge Charger into the top 3, I will do another Signature Series t-shirt for this one here. It is looking fantastic. So do make sure to give me a score out of 10 in the comments below so we can get this one added to the show car board. But now back to this beautiful Ferrari F40, and I really do love this car. I have lusted and wanted and dreamt about this car since I was a little boy, basically. I mean, this car came out, this official one that we got right here, came out when I was 1 year old. Oh no, a little bit later than that, 1993. I'm sure that said 89 on it before. I'm sure I read 89 on this one somewhere. But anyway, this one came out in 1993, so I was actually 5. But anyway, still not at an age where you could appreciate cars, but I still lusted over this one ever since I first ever saw one on a TV, magazine, wherever. It definitely wasn't the internet, I can promise you that. But there we go. Love this car. It is absolutely beautiful. And if we're going to open up this clamshell one more time and check out the engine and engine cover in there. As you can see, I said about the brushed aluminium of that intake, going into the engine cover intake, but it's all brushed aluminium, so it all kind of blends in just with a little splash of blue, and it looks like even a little bit of white on there as well, just for good measure. I didn't add that white, I think that's just the way it's turned out, but there we go, all looking absolutely beautiful. Let's get this one started and hear that twin turbo V8 purr. Nice little grumble in here. I do love this interior, apart from the cross member clipping into the cab a little bit, but you know, we can gloss over that. Let's give it some gas. Very grumbly at the top end, just with a slight wisp of that turbo whistle just nipping off at the top end. I am a big fan of a turbo whistle noise. You all know that by now. But there we go. Let's get the Ferrari F40 onto the dyno, see what its horsepower is, what its drag rating will be, and then it's onto the drag strip. On the dyno then, with our beautiful blue Ferrari F40, with its double overhead cam V8 twin turbo, mid-engine beautiful beast, pumping out 720 factory horsepower. How much have we added? And what's its drag rating? A gain of 968 horsepower, 135% more than an engine and a quarter. Fantastic from the F40, bringing us up to 1,687 total horsepower, almost 1,700 horsepower, and a drag rating of 999, which is always fantastic, but probably means we'll have a lot of unicorns on the drag strip and we may lose. But it is what it is. It's still a beautiful car. I love it nonetheless. The gearbox tune I've gone for today is a 2.9 ratio with 94 kilometers an hour in that first gear, up to a reported 342 kilometers an hour in fifth gear. Whether we'll quite make that for the quarter of a mile on the drag strip is later to be seen. Later to be seen? I don't even know if that's the right word, but I've made my decision, so we're going for it. So we'll find out in just a moment. But before we do that, we do have a fully tuned stage 3 ECU on this one, giving us an additional 16% power. And don't forget, you can always check out the shorts listed in the top right hand corner here or in the description below, how to easily perfectly tune the ECU every time. There's also another one in the description down below on how to do the carburetors, but obviously we don't have any in there today, so go and check them out. Both shorts, less than a minute long, definitely worth it if you're into tuning your cars. So anyway, let's get the beautiful Ferrari F40 onto the drag strip, see if we can win a tournament and make it into the top 10. Back at the drag strip, this time with our Ferrari F40. And before we jump in, how many unicorns do you think will be in the start of this tournament? Let's go find out. King of the Sands, quarter of a mile, obviously in the top end of that A class. Pay our 1,000 entry fee, and the unicorns are there's quite a few. One just there, although that's not actually... Oh, no, it is a unicorn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 official unicorns in there. Did you get it right? Do let me know in the comments below. We do also have the current speederboard champion up there with the twin-turbo V12 McLaren F1 against the unicorn, obviously. Our first race is against the Ford Mustang Drag. What else have we got in here? Dodge Charger 777. Jackal's in a unicorn. French Toast is in the twin-turbo McLaren, also against a unicorn, though. So we'll see how that one goes a little bit later on. And we are on opposite ends of the board. So this might be the one where it's a virtual mechanic French Toast final. We shall see. That'll be quite interesting. But let's get on with our first race against the Ford Mustang Drag. Italian supercar versus tuned up American muscle. Who is going to take the win in our very first race? The Ferrari F40 or the drag edition of Ford Mustang? Let's get in. Let's go. Come on, Ferrari. Please beat the Mustang off the line. We're going to do an early snap into second and then straight into third. Into fourth. Let's keep pushing. We're in the lead. Get into top gear and across the line. What did we get? An 8.614. That puts us definitely in the top 10 as an 8.9 to get onto the top 10. So we know we're on the speederboard from the first run, which is fantastic with a speed of 297 kilometers an hour. Absolutely smashing that Ford Mustang Drag. Just a little bit better on the top speed. But time-wise, there was quite a big difference there. So pleased with that. We've made it through to the first round. Let's get into the next race, see who we're up against, and see if any of our friends made it through. French Toast is still in. Jackal's still in. Sadly, we did lose Fritz. But obviously, our next race is against a unicorn. Who would have guessed it? We've also got I'm a bit surprised, actually. The unicorn beat that McLaren. But that unicorn didn't beat that McLaren. Is there another McLaren? I'm sure there was. Yeah, that McLaren also did beat a unicorn. So a bit bizarre that this one didn't quite make it. So, Helen, I'm disappointed in you, just to say the least. But anyway, Ford Mustang, unicorn versus the Ferrari F40. Let's get on and see who's going to take this and make it in to the semi-finals. As much as the F40 is one of my favourite cars of all time, beautiful, it will never beat the look of the unicorn. I just love the look and style of this car. Like, if there's any car in the world that I could have in real life, it would be a unicorn-inspired Mustang. Just, they're beautiful. I absolutely love it. The wide body kit slammed down. Just everything about it is fantastic, and I'd love to own one in real life. Anyone wants to try and make that happen, please reach out to me, because I would love that to happen in real life. But anyway, now we need to try and beat it with our Ferrari F40. We do have a bad track record against the unicorns, so let's see if we can win and make it into them semi-finals. Let's go. Come on, Ferrari F40. You can do it. Off the line. Cheeky snap into second. There goes the unicorn into third. Can we catch it? Into fourth. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're not going to quite make it. I didn't even bother changing into fifth gear. Probably, definitely not a good idea, that. 8.643 to the quarter of a mile. Not quite beating our first run. Very close, though. Still very similar sort of times. But my not changing gear at the end did cost us about... well, almost 20 kilometers an hour, sorry. 9.7 down to 7. 9.7 down to 7.9, so almost 20 kilometers an hour from a missed gear change. Although I don't think it would have made us one anyway. There was quite a bit in it. I don't think we would have caught it. So sadly, we are out, which is a shame, because I reckon French Toast probably made it through in that twin-turbo McLaren. Not that we would have beat him in the final, but I just really want that French Toast virtual mechanic final. So let's go follow his path. See if French Toast can make it into that final. See if Jackal made it as well. And then we'll go and do one more quick 1v1, just so we can get an average time down for the speederboard. Sadly, we did lose to that unicorn, which is a shame, because French Toast made it through and is now against the Dodge Charger 777 in the twin-turbo McLaren. The other twin-turbo McLaren also lost to a unicorn, so it's nice to see that one beating the GT66 and a unicorn. Obviously, French Toast, an incredible driver. But can he make it through to the final and face off against one of the unicorns? Let's find out. Come on, French Toast, you can do it. Yes, you can. You're in the final. Are you going to take the victory in the twin-turbo McLaren F1? No, sadly not. You did lose to the unicorn that has beaten one of the McLaren twin-turbos already, so it did actually beat two by the end there. Sadly, we went out in the second round. Absolutely disappointing. Only taking 750 credits. It is what it is. But anyway, we're going to go do one more quick 1v1 against a random opponent that isn't a Ford Mustang or Unicorn. So let's get on with that and see who we can come up against. Back at the entrance then, let's get on with a quick 1v1, quarter of a mile, and we'll do 3 randomizations because we're not facing the Ford Mustang drag. We've already done that. 1, 2, 3, and we've got the GT66. I know I said no more Ford Mustangs, but it is a different Ford Mustang, and it's not a Unicorn. So we're going to give it a go and try and beat the GT66 Ford Mustang. And before we go that, sadly, I'm just disappointed French Toast didn't win. It is such a shame. But anyway, let's crack on and get on with our final race of the day. Ferrari F40 versus the Ford Mustang GT66. Well, that green is a colour I haven't seen for a long time. It looks fantastic. Bit of a metallic. I'm not always that big on metallic, but in that dark green, it does look beautiful. I would go with some black stripes on that just to finish it off. I think that would look pretty perfect. Maybe some side stripes as well. But anyway, enough of me fantasizing about livery designs on a car that I've already got one of in gunmetal grey and black, so it already looks fantastic. Can we beat it for our final race of the day? Ferrari F40 versus Ford Mustang GT66. Let's go. Come on, Ferrari. Last race of the day. We need to get a win, and off you go. That is gone. Gone. I don't think we're going to beat that GT66. That flew. I'm so surprised. That was quicker than the Unicorn. 7.763 to the quarter of a mile. That would almost beat the speederboard, and that wasn't even fully tuned. Maybe I need to build a GT66. I know the Mustang I've got in the shop is based on a GT66, but it's my own custom config with my own engine. So maybe I just do a base GT66, because that is wild. And again, it wasn't fully tuned. I'm blown away by that. But anyway, we got an 8.687 seconds to the quarter of a mile in our final run with a 297 kilometers an hour top speed, same as our first run, but not quite as good on the time as our first run. But that 7.763 is fantastic. The 291 kilometers an hour, that thing accelerates so good. But there we go, enough of the drag racing. Let's get our F40 back to the garage, see where it's going to sit on the speederboard, and if it doesn't take the top spot, which we already know it's not going to, we're going to sell it on for hopefully a nice bit of profit. With a quarter mile time at 8.614, where are we on the speederboard? 4th place. Absolutely fantastic. Loving that from the Ferrari F40. One last time. Competizione. I can't say it. I can't even attempt to pronounce it without the accent. And I am very, very, very sorry about that. But there we go. The Ferrari F40 just missing out on a 3rd spot there by 200ths of a second, less than 200ths of a second. Absolutely wonderful. 1,687 horsepower, 8.614 seconds to the quarter of a mile, 297 kilometers an hour for its top speed, or 185 miles per hour rounded up. Fantastic from the Ferrari F40. Only just missing out on that 3rd place, but making it in to the top 10 speederboard, and I'm always very happy when that happens. I'm just waiting for something to come in and beat Barker's custom McLaren F1. Should we do the Ford Mustang GT66? Because it's time, I can't remember exactly, but it was insanely close to that. So it might be worth doing for a bit of fun for a coming up challenge. I don't know. I've got some things lined up, but something in the very near future at least. Let me know if you want to see that. But let's get back outside. But just before we go back outside, don't forget to check out our beautiful Car Mechanic Simulator merchandise. 2 different designs on there. The full cover art on a t-shirt, jumper or hoodie, and then my simplified version on a t-shirt, jumper or hoodie. Again, you can also get the full one on a mug with the logo on the other side, and both logos are mine and Car Mechanic Simulator on a different mug. Go and check them out. virtualmechanic-shop.4forward.com. Maybe you've got a friend who's very into Car Mechanic Simulator. Maybe you've got a friend who's a big fan of me. Hey, maybe? No? Probably not, but it's fine. Anyway, grab them some merch, especially some of the Car Mechanic Simulator stuff. If they are a big fan, they probably don't even know this stuff exists. So maybe grab them something, treat a family, friend, member, a loved one, whatever you want to call it. But there we go. Enough about that. Let's get back outside and say goodbye to the beautiful F40. There she is, all finished, the beautiful blue Ferrari F40. Please, Ferrari, don't sue me. I mean it, please. I can't afford it anyway. But there we go. Looking fantastic. Came 4th out of 26 on the speederboard with an 8.614 seconds to the quarter of a mile and a top speed of 297 kilometers an hour. I think she's looking fantastic, even with the white tail lights, which may be a bit weird to some, but definitely fits in with the rest of this build. Let's talk some facts and figures, though. We bought the car for over $750,000 at 752,000 400 at the very beginning, and we would have lost out if we'd have sold it there and then of 35,078. But we obviously didn't do that. We spent a further 196,451 upgrading, tuning, modifying, and painting this beautiful car to how you see it in front of you now. I think she's beautiful. What do you think? Do let me know in the comments below. But we spent almost $1 million to get this car here. 948,851. Is there some money to be made from this beautiful Ferrari? Let's go take a look. Well, there she is. As you can see, all 100% complete and quite a few miles, almost 250,000 kilometers, not miles, sorry, on this beautiful Ferrari F40. Quite a lot on there, but we did manage to tune that engine quite a bit, from 720 horsepower to 1,687, 135% power gain from that twin turbo V8. Absolutely fantastic. But it did cost us almost $1 million to get there. So can we make some money when we come to sell this beautiful Ferrari? Yes. Yes, we can, by quite a lot as well, with a sale of 1,999,374. That's a lot of money to sell a car for. That does leave us with a profit of 1,050,523 from this beautiful Ferrari F40. And this is a Patreon exclusive. So if you do want access to this one, you do have to sign up to DeadBob777's Patreon. There is a link in the description below, and also a little link on the top right-hand corner in the screen right now for you. So go and check that one out. You have to sign up at the Gas Monkey level. I always get that wrong. Garage Monkey level is what it actually is. I should really write more notes, or better notes at least anyway. Garage Monkey level, and you get access to this beautiful Ferrari F40 and also the 2015 Dodge Charger we didn't do too long ago. They're both exclusive on there, along with many, many others. And if you ever see my tyre pack, these ones here, the Toyo tyres, that's also through Payne's Patreon, where you can get this. This does also require the TKAftermarket mod. Is it TKAftermarket or Quality of Life? I can't remember. One of them. It tells you anyway. So if you do sign up, it will give you all the information you need. I can't remember which one it is. I've been playing with mods for way too long now. I can't remember where they all come from or where they all go. But there we go. If you want access to many, many exclusive items for this beautiful game, DeadBob777's Patreon is the place to grab them. But it is time to say goodbye to this beautiful Ferrari F40 and all of that wonderful, wonderful profit. Goodbye, you beautiful, beautiful beast. There we go, Ferrari. I don't own it anymore. It's not my responsibility. You can't sue me. Thank you very much. But anyway, moving on. What have we got coming up next? Well, this is a fantastic little mod, and I cannot wait to get stuck into it. I believe this is somebody new trying to do these, which are looking fantastic. And that somebody new is BDA Silver Carvalho. And I'm really sorry if I've mispronounced that. You're doing a fantastic job. I think you've got 3 mods up now. Chevrolet Capri Mark III, the Chevrolet Capri Mark IV, and a Buick Roadmaster. We will be covering all of them. Don't worry. We get into all of them soon. I'm hoping this has got some awesome body kit designs or some style designs, but I am afraid it's probably just going to be stock. So we won't have too much to change, but we're still going to play around with it anyway. And either drag strip it or racetrack it. I'll let you guys decide in the comments below, along with deciding which engine once we've seen the options in just a minute. This car is available from all of the places, so you can get it anywhere you like. Even buy it brand new from the salon if you so choose. But we got ours from the auction house, and the bad auction house at that, as per usual. That's what we aim for. I like to have cars to repair. I like to have stuff to do. Did we get a good deal for the Chevrolet Capri? No. 9,181 is what I paid, and I could sell it currently for 7,816, losing out on 1,365. But we are not doing that. We need to restore this one, make it look absolutely fantastic, maybe even a cheeky little bit of resto mod. We shall see. But what engine are we going to have in our Chevy? It currently has the V8 2-carb overhead valve engine, pumping out 282 horsepower, so not the fastest, but we have plenty of options. What engine would you like to see in this beautiful Chevy? Let me know in the comments, along with whether you want it on the drag strip, racetrack, or I'm going to put it out there, even though don't want to do it, but I will do it if you suggest it, the gravel track. Yes, I will do it if you suggest it. Not going to be happy about it, but we'll do it. We'll have some fun anyway. So let me know where you want to race it and which engine you want. I'm a big fan of the small block 302. It's a good looking engine, maybe not the most power. Probably one of the most powerful ones would be one of the Hemis, probably the 426, maybe the 440 Magnum. I'm not 100%, maybe even the Cobra Jet. But let me know if you want any one of them engines. If not, we'll just stick with what's in it and see what we can get from it. But this is what we're going to be working on in the next episode, the beautiful Chevrolet Capri Mark III, and I am very much Looking forward to it. So make sure you join us back here on Thursday for that beautiful Chevrolet Capri. We're going to see what's going on with it, what options we've got, how we can build it, if we can make it look absolutely fantastic. I'm sure we will be able to. I don't know if there's any liveries for it, if there's any body options. We shall find out together in the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching. It is always a pleasure. Let me know what you thought of that beautiful Ferrari F40 in the comment sections. Leave a cheeky little like if you enjoyed today's video. And don't forget to share it with your friends, family, whoever you want. Someone you think might enjoy this video, tag them in it, send it to them, whichever you want to do. It definitely helps me out. And another way you can help me out is becoming a member of the VM Garage Club, where you get access to my configs and liveries that we create, such as the orange Dodge Charger down there, looking fantastic. That's already up on the Discord for you to go and check out and add it to your own game if you hit that join button below for £2.99 a month. Like these guys here, absolute legends. I love every single one of you. You definitely support me, and you do help me with my builds, some design choices and things like that. I do ask for opinions on there, and it's just a nice place for us to go and chat. But anyway, enough of that. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, whatever it is you're getting up to. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe for Virtual Mechanic.